All right, so before we get started, I got some water, got the percolator and the fire, got some coffee grinds. I'm gonna have to grind those up with a hammer. And of course, a clean coffee cup, sort of clean. Helper number 1, helper number 2, helper number 3, and then of course Mojo's. He's the alpha dog. Don't want to put too much water in it because then the coffee will be weak. So if you want strong coffee, cut back a little bit on the water. All right, real quick, while this is boiling, I want to take you in this back room back here where I'm doing some floor tile real quick. This will only take a few seconds of internet time. It's probably going to take me about 30 minutes of my time. Oh yeah, by the way, since we're here, I'm going to do a video on every one of those coming up. But this is the storage room here, and I'm putting in this flooring. So I'm going to have a lot of storage in that corner right there for neckwood. And just, so anyhow, I got 3 more rows to do to cover up this layment, and then I'll be done for the night. But guys, you are not going to believe the 2, dude, I keep bumping this one with my shoulder. Eventually that thing's gonna come crashing to the ground if I'm not careful. I got 2 crazy ideas, so you're gonna have to bear with me. All right, that's it for now. I'm done. Actually, it looks a lot nicer when you turn the lights out. So I'm gonna smash these beans. I got some of this flooring, paper towel. I'm having to do this because I don't have a grinder. So I'm gonna actually just practice on a few before I get too carried away, because I don't want to make too much of a mess. Wish I had like a little plastic baggie or something like that, but. All right, so now I don't have a hammer handy, so I'm just gonna use the back. It's clean, the back of this axe here. Oh yeah. Ah, shoot. Oh, I got an idea here. Try that. Oh, that actually works pretty good. Okay, that's gonna work pretty good, guys. Actually, that's gonna work great. Sweet. All right, so instead of using this percolator, forget it, dude. I'm just gonna do cowboy coffee. Oh yeah. Dude, you can hear it sizzle like bacon. All right, now I just gotta wait. So here's one of the boxes of flooring that I've been using. This is actually really pretty flooring. So one of my ideas has something to do with this, and you can probably imagine what I'm thinking. The second idea is actually from the box. So what I was doing was I was just ripping these things up into fine little pieces. But then I got to thinking, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Well, it depends. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Well, I asked you first. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah, I'm gonna make a cigar box guitar out of cardboard. All right, so we're just cutting these into nice little, nifty little squares. Perfect little squares. And I measured them so that they would be about the right size. That way, they're oversized a little bit. That way I can like carve them down and shave them down. But I got a whole bunch of these. I was trying to get the right thickness too. So now we're just gonna glue all these bad boys together. So first things first, I'm going to glue these dudes up into one huge block. So I'll have like a brick of cardboard. All right, it got hot in here. I had to take off my jacket, take off my hat. Had to get some gloves because I was gonna make a mess. I knew it was gonna make a mess. So I got these throwaway gloves. So I'm ready. I can hear this stuff boiling, dude, so I know this is gonna be good. Yeah, that's awesome when you can hear, hear your coffee. All right, so this is 60 grit cowboy coffee. Yeah, oh yeah. Wow. Man, oh man, is that good. Look at it. Still got something to, you can get it embedded in your teeth. Oh yeah, that's good. That is so good. Stamina coffee. That's my son's coffee. I'll put a link in the description. Okay, so as far as gluing these things go, I'm gonna have to do one at a time and then smash them together and let them dry because they're, I think maybe if I got a different kind of glue, I don't think this is the right kind of glue, but it'll work. I just need to be patient, and then I'm putting some of this flooring on top of it with a log just to kind of keep them together, smashed while they dry. It's a good use of some of these extra logs. Just all right, we cut out the the top, and look at that. Dang, awesome. And that is tight. So, of course, I'm going to peel the paper off the box, but doesn't that just look stunning? It's a little bit thicker, so I'm going to have to file these edges here to kind of take that edge off, but it's going to look rather nice. I added some more coffee grounds, and I just let it cook and cook and cook. And guys, look how black this is. I'm going to pour it slow. I don't know if you can tell. That's what you call black. I'll get it up to the top so you can see here. And if you pour it slow, you don't get any of the grinds. Dude, come on. Hello. Wow. Wow. Dang. It's got a kick. Wow, I think it might be a little too strong. Yikes. You think? Okay, we are down to the sludge. I mean, my gosh, check this out, dude. It's like, seriously, like, that's some sludge. All right, it took me about 30 minutes, but I cleaned that sucker out, dude. Look at that. And that is, my friend, dirty. One of the items I lost in the move was that little speed tuner thing. This thing comes in so handy. Ah. Just got to be careful not to break a string. But anyhow, yeah, so this thing here, I ended up just making it. And this is how I did it. I just took one of these guys, little string winders, found one that was kind of broken, that wasn't working that good, and just cut it off, which left just that little guy. And then I made sure to find the appropriate size of nut that I could fit into my soldering iron tip. So if I take this little bolt off here, it fits in here perfectly. So I can heat that sucker up. And then all I did is I just heated it up. I did drill a little hole, kind of a pilot hole that was a little bit smaller than the threads because I wanted the threads to catch. And so, the other thing I ended up doing was like grinding off the sides of this because it's a round head. And I ground it off so that it would fit in there. So I just had to take off like a top and the bottom because I didn't want this thing to spin. And then just heated it up and then shish kebabbed it. And then waited for it to dry. I had to kind of course correct it because it started to tilt over one way, and then I wanted it to be straight up and down, perpendicular, exactly perpendicular, so there would be no wobble in here. So anyhow, I'm gonna turn all of these bad boys into these guys because you're always looking for it. You're like, where the heck did I set it down? Dang it! So anyhow, that's a handy idea. And as for the box top, I painstakingly peeled all the paper off. And then I got to looking at it. This is the top, and this is the inside. Now, if you notice the inside, this part here has transferred to down here. So on this side, it's on the top. But you also get all of these words and the handmade stuff on the inside of the box as compared to the top. On the top, you get this warning sticker. So I think I'm going to go with this one here because there's just more interest, in my opinion. Now, what I was thinking about doing was gluing this to the top of this, so I can at least have a template to get started on this non-cigar cigar box guitar. So we went ahead and traced it out. So now I just need to cut this out. But before I do, I want this to dry because right now it's still kind of wet. And I don't want to interrupt the glue while it's drying. So I'm going to let this dry and then we'll cut this thing out. Can you feel the heat? High heat. This is the paint that I used to paint this guy with. That engine high heat. Anyhow, I figured I would paint the box here black. Welcome to day 2. And yes, it snowed last night. Woohoo! And dogs are happy. So we came down here. We are, right off the bat, we are stoking. Oh yeah, you like my doorbell? Ding dong! So we got the fire stoked. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add some more water because I got plenty of grounds. You remember yesterday how I told you I lost my speed drill tuner thing that I made? Well, as fate would have it, I found it right off the bat this morning. I was like, I bet I know exactly where that's at. And sure enough, I looked for it and exactly where I thought it was going to be, and I found it. So that's what you call fate. let the coffee begin. Well, today was a day of painting and more flooring. Got the floor almost up to the corner. All I lack is just those tiny little bit. And that's it. So now we are off to build cigar box guitars. My coffee has been brewing all day long. So I am very curious to see. Okay, it's black, 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 black. Look at that. Cat's in there making poop. Digging into the cat box. All right, so cheers. So good, so good. One of the nice things about building cigar box guitars is you can always change your mind and go in a different direction. But anyhow, just look how stunning this box looks. Oh my gosh. So what I want to do here is have a neck, and on the neck have also a spare piece of flooring. Okay, so that's going to be this guitar here. The other one, the cardboard guitar, I finally found my little template, my Les Paul template. So instead of tracing out the cigar box, which is, that would have been cool, this thing here is going to work perfectly, right? So I'm going to have a cardboard Les Paul. And I did like the dimensions on it to try to figure out which is going to be the proper scale neck. And I'm going to go with the 19-inch there, just because I think it looks the most balanced where the saddle's going to be. So that's what this one's going to be. Typically, a Les Paul has a scarf joint neck. So what I did is I got my, oh dang it, came apart. I'm glad it came apart now rather than when I used it. You remember this little scarf joint jig? I will put a link to this video, how we construct this. Typically you put this on the, you clamp it here to the chop saw, and this angle here is your scarf. So what I did is I tried to attach it to this little dude here so I could slide it through the table saw and get the scarf joint this way. So this is what I'm going to try now. So this is the new jig. I just screwed this little, this thing here came with the saw. And so now it's dedicated for my scarf joint because I got it all lined up so that the the blade of the saw goes right here. Right at this point right here. I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. And so now what you got to do is determine which side of this is going to be the fretboard, and the fretboard is going to be away from you on your left. Does that make sense? So it's going to slide right through here. This part here is my fretboard, which means my scarf is going to be coming back this way. I tried to get everything lined up. Here, so I got the saw blade going directly to you here. This here is the little track that goes right here. I put this in the track, and I wanted to make sure that these clamps are out of the way of the blade, right? That's the main thing. And I'm setting this thing here so that I have about maybe 5 inches or 4 inches on this side. And it looks like about maybe about 6 inches on the top where the blade's going to hit. All right, so this is going to get loud. Eye protection. I also have a vacuum. I should probably turn the vacuum on. So it's going to get real loud. The plug doesn't work. It's not plugged in, duh. Ah! Helps to have it plugged in. I haven't built a scarf joint in a long time. I'm glad I put those glasses on because, man, that's some sawdust. Even though the vacuum, but dude, it still makes a mess. Just like that. Okay, so maybe I didn't need to do 4 inches here. I think the next time I'll do maybe 2 inches or so. I mean, I got a big old headstock there. That's probably about like 6 inches. A little too big. So this is just a practice one. I wanted to point out all this termite damage there. Look at that. Get some termites going on there. Regular wood glue. And then you just clamp it. Wipe off the excess. And if you're going to put any wings on here, you know, to make the headstock wider, you know, by putting material like that or whatever, you could put wings on here. If you're going to use a router, like a half round or a quarter round or a 3/4 round, you'll want to do the routing first before you glue anything onto the headstock. Because if you do glue something onto the headstock and it's bigger, then it's not going to be flat on your router table. You won't be able to get in here. So I'm glad I remembered not to forget to remember to remind you. Don't forget that. I got it right the second time. So this time here, I got about maybe 1 3/4 inches here. And then about maybe a good 5 inches on the back here. I'll measure that exactly here. So on the top side, I got, yep, 1 3/4 inches. And the bottom side is, sorry about that, 4.5. Yep, 4.5. 4.5 here. And 1 3/4 inches here. Then you just glue it on the back side here. Now, you can choose to do a veneer here or paint it or whatever. That's the only drag, is that you have this little deviation in the grains. In this case here, the grains look like they're going to match up pretty good, huh? Got lucky there. But that is a problem, I guess, if you want to call it a problem. It's a first world problem. Little Sharpie magic. And now I'm ready to cut this bad boy out. Man, this would be a good time to have a bandsaw. Just like that. Dude, isn't that cool? Oh my gosh. The idea is just keep flowing. All right, first up is going to be the laminate slider. And this box and this neck are just going to be stunning together. So that'll be a slider. No sound holes. So that should be very interesting. The other one is going to be the 19-inch scale Les Paul. All right, so you're going to have to tune into the next video to see how these things turn out. Oh yeah, and I did want to tell you, I came to the conclusion that one of my favorite ways to consume coffee is just one bean at a time. Okay, 2 beans at a time. Mwah. All right, guys, see you in the next video.